There's some spooky stuff in this book. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Advanced Boss, Next Gen Nostalgia. Well, guys, look at the time of the year it is. It's spooky season, and today I'm going to be diving into my personal PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 horror game classics. The games I own, the games I grew up with. You know, the original golden age of horror in video games. From Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Castlevania, Doom, even Fatal Frame, and other great games that are perfect for this time of year. So join me today as I go through each game, share some memories, talk about what made these games so iconic from the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, the atmosphere, the low poly graphics of the PlayStation 1 that we still use in indie games today, the haunting soundtracks, and the stories that still have a grip on our hearts and souls to this very day. So this video is if you're a collector, a retro gamer, or someone who just likes playing spooky ass games around the Halloween season. Your boy Advanced Boss, I got you, man. So let's get ready to grab those memory cards, turn down the lights, grab a flashlight, and let's get ready to go down the terrifying road of PS1 and PS2 games, because it's about to get scary up in here. All right, so we're going to talk PlayStation 1 games first, and we might as well start with the OG as, to start this whole video off. We're going to start with the games that are horror themed, not exactly, horror games. That way there's a big, distinction between the two, because there are some games that are just horror themed, like a Splatterhouse or Ghosts and Goblins. They're not necessarily scary versus your Alone in the Dark, your Sweet Homes. So we're going to start off with a hidden gem, if you will. This is Brain Dead 13, starring Fritz. Now, I guess the real question is who the hell is Fritz? But I guess he's like the main quote-unquote villain that you're always dealing with in this game. You play as some teenage kid named Lance. Yes, I think he's there like to fix a TV or something. But of course, this place is full of like tricks and traps, and this guy's trying to kill you whatnot throughout the game. Now, I haven't played this game yet, but I did watch some videos of it. I've always wanted to play this game. In fact, this game is not even technically mine. One of my homies gave me this game, so shout out to you. You know who you are. But I think this game is perfect for Halloween because it looks like a cartoon. The same vein of the Dragon's Lair and Space Ace games. This would be a perfect game to keep playing because even though it's dated resolution, animation style doesn't get old. Like there are no graphics here. This is strictly a cartoon. So by all means, you should check this out. I wish they bring this game back because like a complete playthrough will only take about less than an hour. So it's a very short game because, like I said, they hand drew everything, so they couldn't do this forever. But I think right here is a perfect way to start up your Halloween games. All right, up next we have Fear Effect, made by Eidos back in the day. This game is not a traditional scary game like a Resident Evil because it's more science fiction and anime, but it does have a lot of horror elements to the game. The beauty of this game, the reason why it's a cult classic, it had an art style that really hasn't been replicated since the PlayStation 1. All the backgrounds were like this full motion video, so everything felt alive in a way that no other game was doing. Like, as much as I love Resident Evil 1 and 2, those backgrounds are static, they're drawn, that's it. These backgrounds were constantly in motion because there was maybe like a 6-second video loop for every background. It was amazing. It was a sight to see back in the day. And this is one of the better, this really is pushing the power of the PlayStation 1. Now, as you can clearly see, this game, double disc, but actually is 1, 2, 3, 4 discs. 4 disc game. So they were maximizing the power of the PlayStation 1 at the time. Now, the beauty of this game has actually been re-released on Steam and Nintendo Switch for like $10. So if you're itching to play something that's a little unique, and I think they actually fixed the controls from the original game on the new version, I would definitely recommend you downloading a copy of Fear Effect on your PC or Switch. Play this game immediately. I love this game. This is Parasite Eve. One of, if not one of the best games Squaresoft has ever made. Man, I can talk about this game for hours, but I'm going to try to just keep it to about a minute or two. Another 1, 2, this game. It also came with the 1998 collector CD. We had a demo of Final Fantasy VIII at the time. Well, actually a movie. But Xenogears had a demo. There's a lot of movies for other upcoming Squaresoft games, so definitely, if you do try to get a quote-unquote complete in box copy of this, make sure it has a 3rd disc. But anyway, as far as the game is concerned, they call this the cinematic RPG, and brother, they ain't lying. Only thing this game is missing is voice acting, but if they ever remade this game, it would be literally an 11 out of 10 game. But basically, there's a power within like the DNA of everyone, and this lady named Eve is altering and mutating, like setting people on fire, mutating animals. It's a crazy game, and the battle system was so unique that, in fact, I don't think they ever did it again. But thank God for the indie devs. I can't remember the title, it escapes me right now. But there's an indie game coming out very soon that's taking the vein of a spiritual successor of, at least the gameplay wise, of Parasite Eve. Definitely grab this game. Very scary at times. Great atmosphere. The soundtrack too. It has like this vibe between this game and Resident Evil 2, which I think came out in the same year. They were on some next level stuff when it came to the music in this game. Opera, pianos. It really held you at the edge of your seat at all times. Yeah, this game right here is a must play. And also, now that I think about it, not only do you play this game around Halloween, the game takes place around the holidays, Christmas. So low key, you could play this around Christmas as well. Just saying. All right, so up next, you can't talk horror without talking about, man, one of the grandfathers of the horror genre to a certain degree. Doom. Oh yeah, Doom and Final Doom. So right here, these are the PlayStation 1 versions of the game. Now I know some people might think, well, Doom's not scary to a certain degree. You know, there's granted you're in hell, you're shooting demons and whatnot, and but you're listening to cover bands or cover versions of rock songs a lot of the time. However, this version of the game, oh no, the PlayStation version has an exclusive soundtrack, and I believe it's on the same vibes on Doom 64 as well. It changes the whole game. In fact, the PlayStation 1 version as well has like this cool dynamic lighting. So stages that were extremely bright in the OG PC port, it's dark as hell. There's red or dark blues everywhere. It just really messed with your perception what these levels should be, because you played them so much one way and they just changed everything. Like the lights are dimming in and out. There's new flicker effects. I mean, you got astigmatism, this ain't the game for you, or epilepsy. However, nevertheless, you got 50 levels. Like there's Doom 1 and Doom 2 stages in here. I mean, this is like one of the great packages right here. Only thing that I meant about my personal collection, as you can clearly see, this is the greatest hit version. I mean, it's clean. It's, just silver, whatever. But the real version has, this exclusive cover art on the disc. And as far as Final Doom, I didn't really play a lot of this, but I'm pretty sure all these stages are on the new Doom 1 and Doom 2 that you can get on virtually anything that plays Doom on. So you'll be straight. You definitely get all the vibes. In fact, the beauty of this is if you really want to hear that music in the modern remake of Doom, there's a patch for it, or not a patch, a mod, if you will, and you can play it, have the PSX music in it, changes the complete game. All right, and to almost wrap up the horror theme games, I got Dino Crisis 2. Now, you would think, well, why would Dino Crisis 2 be in the horror theme games? Because this game is not exactly scary. They changed the dynamic from scary, like a survival horror game, to more of an action arcade game. I've played this several times, but never really got into it. I have to check it out. Maybe I'll stream it one day and actually beat it, because you can clearly see my case is not in the greatest of shape, whatever. But I would say it's worthy of the series, because there's always Dino Crisis 3. Yikes. But yeah, this one right here, not as scary. And of course, last but not least, you gotta do Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I mean, this game, when you talk about the top 10 PS1 games, if this ain't on the list, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what the hell you're playing. So this game came out in, I want to say 97. Yes, 1997. And in the era where we were pretty much moving away from 2D, because that was passe and old. We're moving on to 3D games, like, as you can clearly see, Metal Gear Solid was coming soon. This was like old hat, but man, they pumped everything they could into this game. And quite frankly, this is the game, as we all should know by now, invented the term Metroidvania. So this literally this game right here changed the industry. And indie devs are still eating off of this game and this work from all these years ago. Man, the beauty of this game. So you obviously play as Alucard, Dracula's son. I think most people would know that by now. The cool thing is with this game, the amount of content in this game. Every time I look on a random YouTube video for this game, I'm seeing a weapon or a move I've never seen before. It's in the amount of depth in this game is incredible, and there's no right or wrong way to play it. If you want to play with fists, swords, magical staves, axes, whatever you want to do, go for it, because there's no right or wrong way to play this game. I mean, and as far as like Halloween is concerned, this game has zombies, werewolves, the Grim Reaper, mass of deceased bodies in a ball, Dracula. I mean, this game is touching all the bases you need for a perfect Halloween game. And to top it off, when you get done beating the game and getting the true ending, you get to play the whole game over again upside down. If you know, you know. This game is a must play around Halloween. And I think if you look, I'm not sure if you can see it. I paid $30 for this back in 2015. You ain't getting this game for $30 like this ever again. But fear not, you can always get the version on the Xbox 360, which is backwards compatible with current systems, for like $5. And or you can go on PlayStation 4, and they have the collection with this and the Rondo of Blood. So either way, there's no excuses not to be able to play this game. Even though I wonder, this game has never gone to Nintendo. Yeah, they gotta fix that. You gotta do something about that, Nintendo. All right, put the kids away, because now it's time for the survival horror games. The games that will really scare your pants off. And there's no other game better to scare your pants off than Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation. As you can clearly see, this game has gone through hell, because this game, some of these games I got right here, they weren't my childhood copy or repurchase. This one is. And yeah, man, it's in rough shape. Like, this is coming off right here. Yikes. This is coming off, but that's cool. It's fine, because this is my copy I've had all the way since 1996. Like, I gotta be sure that this thing doesn't falls right out. But yeah, man, what needs to be said about Resident Evil that hasn't been said already? I don't know. But right here, this is like the game that forced me back in the day to actually buy a memory card. I remember, like, my brother and I would play this game all the way till you get all the 4 crests and you can actually finally get out the mansion. We were just looking like, well, might as well cut the game off, because we can't, you know, if we die, we're going to do all this shit over again. We don't have any memory cards. So we would just rent the game and just get that far until we finally bought the game with a memory card, and, you know, the rest is history. Oh, man. But obviously, from everyone knows the jump scares with the dogs, or maybe the first time you see that zombie turn around, it's iconic. But for me personally, there's 2 moments that stick out to me in this game. One is when you go back in the mansion the second time and the hunter's out there. And I'll never forget, there's an area right in the hallway where you get the Magnum at. There's a hunter that's just going to jump out of nowhere. Man, my guy was playing it, and he just literally just threw the controller up in the air. We all screamed like a bunch of, you know what, dropped the controller, and then poor Jill just got her head shot off because we clearly dropped the controller. Thank God we saved like maybe 10 minutes prior, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was just one of those things that was funny. Like, damn, we always looked at each other like, did we really just get scared like that? Yeah, because that was Resident Evil. And between that and the puzzles, remember the puzzle with the pictures where you gotta go from like the newborn all the way to an old man? That was like one of the first puzzles that made me like, oh man, like me and my friends gotta get. Now, of course, now simple puzzle was easy, but you know, you're back in like high school, no game really challenged us like this before, at least not in this matter. So we all like kind of put our heads together and figured it out. It was like, oh yeah, this game 10 out of 10. We so smart, man. We figured out the puzzles. In fact, this is why I like Resident Evil games, because these puzzles now, these RE games, are so easy, and I still know people that can't figure out some of this simple stuff. So nevertheless, Resident Evil 1, you gotta have this game. The problem with Resident Evil 1 is the fact that the OG version, it is very difficult to play. Now, if you have a PC, you can play this on GOG. They have 1, 2, and 3, the old school versions. I'm pretty sure you guys saw the article how Capcom didn't think this was relevant. They're stupid. They're wrong. Because if you don't have a PC, you're kind of stuck with this version. This is Resident Evil Director's Cut. And as you can clearly see right there, this is the DualShock version. On paper, you would think that's awesome. I get to play this game with better controls, analog stick. But this is the game that has that god-awful music that basically it ruins the experience. This is like the worst way of playing Resident Evil 1. But it's like the only thing that's on the PlayStation Classic or the well, I think it's on PlayStation 3. No, it's on PS3. I don't know if it's on PS4, PS5. I can't remember. But there is one good thing from this. Aha. Somehow, some way, I have my Resident Evil 2 demo. Oh yeah, you gotta have that. This version I would personally avoid if you can, but if you got no choice, if you never played, it's kind of like the Silent Hill 2 and 3 HD remaster. If you never played the original games, you might not notice, but if you played the original ones, yeah, you don't want this. You don't want this at all. So if I got RE1, clearly I gotta have RE2. When you say sequels, this is the very definition of how you do a sequel. It has to be bigger, better, and more scary than the last. There's not too many perfect sequels. There's Mega Man 2, there's Gears of War 2, and then there's Resident Evil 2. Even, Silent Hill 2, which we'll touch on later. But this one right here, man, you get to play as Leon Kennedy. Everyone loves Leon. And then got Claire Redfield. And so this game, you talk about content, this game literally has 4 different playthroughs you can do, because this game had what they call the zapping system. So you beat the game with Leon, you could play Claire scenario B. Then you beat the game with Claire, then you could play the game with Leon scenario B, and how they intersected. Granted, they did it to a certain degree with the remake, but this version, the way they did it, was absolute perfect. And I wish they did it this way, but I think this is the better way of doing the 2 scenarios. I think even though Remake 2 is goated, and I love Remake 2, don't get it twisted, but the way they did it in this one on PS1, I just exceeded all expectations from, as a sequel. Obviously, there was more zombies on the screen, new monsters, you're in Raccoon City this time. Like I said, what needs to be explained, but the music, once again, when you take on William Birkin in his ultimate form, man, cinema. Literally one of the best things, best fights on PlayStation 1 right here. So by all means, if you need a GOAT, another one, it's this one right here. And to finish off the trifecta of Resident Evil, you gotta have Resident Evil Part 3 Nemesis, which included a demo of Dino Crisis. So Capcom was cranking out the games back in the day, man. This one, they were, once again, Cap God status right here. Resident Evil 3 I have a lot of sentimental value with this game, and I'll explain why. Granted, it is the shortest of the Resident Evil games because there's only one campaign. You only get to play as Jill, but there's so many different scenarios, and there's points in the game where you could actually, do you want to, I'm making stuff up, you want to jump out the window or go down to the sewer? There's so many different ways that replayability was at all-time high. This is why I give so much shit to the remake version of Part 3, because you're gonna remake the game. This is what Capcom pisses me off, because you think your remakes are better than the originals. Absolutely not, because this proves it right here that Resident Evil 3, the original one, is way better than the remake. Obviously, this is the game that had Nemesis, where this dude would just come at you anywhere, anytime. It was great. And I remember playing this game when I was in the military, and I'll never forget, I was just sitting there in one of the entertainment rooms. Me and my friend are playing the game, and he just said, "Hey man, it's been a while since we seen Nemesis." And literally 5 seconds later, he comes crashing, and I just look at him you just had to say something. God dang. But yeah, man, this game right here is one of the better ones. I actually need to stream this game too, because I've only really beat this game once, and I really haven't gotten to playing again. And then I played that remake, and I was sorely disappointed. All right, so let's finish off the Capcom selection of games with, of course, Dino Crisis. This is another game that Capcom really did well. And oddly enough, look at that. You get a demo for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. That's what you call cross promotions right there. Synergy, if you will. So they knew they were cranking out the games. So this is basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs. I mean, Jurassic Park was still kind of hot at the time. And yeah, they said, well, the hell with zombies, let's just do dinosaurs. I've only beat this game once, and I was actually talking to Godly, and he said he actually re-beat this game and like, yeah, it's a horrible loop. It's basically doors locked, go someplace, find XYZ key or item, you get XYZ item, here comes a dinosaur, wash, rinse, repeat. So I think they really need to remake this game. They don't need to be remaking Resident Evil 4 and 5 all damn day. They need to remake games like this that were good but flawed. Resident Evil 4 is perfect. Don't touch it. But they already did. So what am I complaining about? And of course, if we're talking PlayStation 1, we're talking survival horror. I mean, as much as I love Resident Evil, this one right here, Silent Hill, this is pure 100% horror right here, man. I don't know what to say. This game right here, Resident Evil's cool. I love Resident Evil. Silent Hill legit gave me nightmares. Like, for real. Because the difference between Resident Evil and Silent Hill, obviously you have, it's fully 3D rendered. As you all know, Resident Evil used static backgrounds. This game went next level with the graphics, so everything's in 3D. But of course, the power of the PlayStation was limited, so that's Enter the Fog. So that draw distance was like only like what, 6 feet in front of you. So you're gonna hear monsters, you're gonna hear dogs, you hear other stuff, but you can't see anything. Almost so they're right up on you. This game is purely terrifying. And also the beauty of this game, you think about it. The low polys, what was cutting edge back in, what was this, 2000? No, 1999. Look at all the indie games. Puppet Combo is pretty much uses the template of PS1 graphics based on, you know, games like this. Man, it doesn't get any better than Silent Hill. Now, of course, this game I had for a long ass time, right? The problem is this game's really expensive now. So if you still have a dusty, rusty PS3 out there, I think you can still download it for $6. Maybe one day it will be playable on a PS5, just saying, and you'll have it before they try to charge you an arm and a leg. Before we move on real quick, because Silent Hill is like, I gotta gush a little bit more. The reason why, I almost forgot the reason why you get nightmares from this game. So Resident Evil games is dealing with like, you know, biohazards and chemicals turning people into zombies, dogs into ravenous monsters, so on and so forth, right? You know, that stuff could happen, I guess, technically. This right here is psychological. This is a completely different level of terror where you're in a normal room, normal street 1 minute, and the next everything is gritty, dark, rusted out. Everything is like a bizarre, twisted version of itself. And that's what really messes with you. Like, you don't know what's going to happen next in a Silent Hill game. And trust me, if you played the franchise, you should know that everything isn't what it seems, and you just don't know what the next thing is going to lead around the corner. I don't know, man. Like, I always personally, like, once again, let me stress this. I love Resident Evil games, but personally, I enjoy the Silent Hill games more. Just slightly more, because it just has that, you know, I don't know, supernatural type feel to it where, I don't know, man, I guess, as long as you say your ass out of Silent Hill, you should be straight. But yeah, that's all I want to say, man. There's a big difference between these type of games of Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Even though they're both survival horror, there's levels to it when it comes to terror. Now, I actually do have a license-based game for survival horror, and that is Vampire Hunter D on the PlayStation 1. I love this anime. In fact, I'm kind of mad I didn't buy it on Blu-ray recently, but I do own it on DVD. So, Vampire Hunter D, very classic anime. So, of course, of all companies, you give it to Jalico to make the video game version of it. And this is what the disc looks like right here. I played very little of this game. It wasn't good. Maybe I'll stream this eventually in the future to see if I can get past the quirks of it. But I think this is a game you have to be like a real fan to just power through the awfulness that this game is. This game is not good by any stretch of imagination. But hey, look, this isn't about what games are good or bad. This is about what's good to play around Halloween. So Vampire Hunter D definitely will scratch that itch, if you will. And last but not least, I have one game that I have not played yet, but I'm really interested in playing because I don't even know how to really pronounce the game. I think it's called Galarians. I don't know. No one's ever said this game out loud to me in public, so I wouldn't know. I don't know anyone who's ever even played this game. But according to this game is I don't know, like some type of psychic survival horror game. You have these different powers in your mind because these chemicals they pump you with or something of other. Yeah, because even the title on the back says agony, madness, and death. Chemicals have their side effects. Yes, it even says, welcome to the world of Galarians, the first psychic survival adventure game. They don't call it survival horror. It's a survival adventure game. So this probably has a lot more action than what was even normalized back in the day in Resident Evil games in this one. But this game, I think, also has reached cult status because, once again, you got 1, 2, 3 discs game. Got the manual and everything right here. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see. See how much I paid for this game? $5. No one gave a rat's ass about this game back then. Look how much it is now. In fact, while you're at it looking it up on eBay or Amazon, I found out that this game has a sequel on PS2. So I need to play this and check it out. I think this is a little, maybe a hidden gem. Yeah, I think it's worth checking out. I mean, any game that has multiple discs, it's gotta be good, or at least worth playing on PlayStation 1, right? And the last game on my PS1 horror themed games that's perfect for this time of year is also a hidden gem. Don't kill the messenger, but I actually enjoy this game. This is Resident Evil Survivor, PlayStation 1. Basically, this was going to be a light gun Resident Evil game. However, this game came out in the year 2000, but I believe a year beforehand, I think we had a major incident involving children and guns at a school, and Capcom, I mean, I guess rightfully so, got cold feet, said, yeah, we're not about to get blamed for the next one of these. So they pulled out the light gun support for the game, and then you just have to pretty much just play with your controller. I mean, not even a mouse. You could even do that. A lot of people do not like this game. Trust me, it's not a perfect game either. I think it's an interesting experiment for Resident Evil because clearly they wanted to make money and make more money. The fans wanted more. But there's one thing I do enjoy about this game, even though it has an amnesia story. The things that Umbrella's up to in this game is really, really terrifying. When you actually read, but you got to read the documents. It's one of those things where they don't show you on screen, but if you actually read what's going on, you're actually like, whoa, this is way better than what I'm looking at right now in the game. But yeah, I would definitely try to play this if you can. I know the game gets a bad rap, but look, every game ain't gonna be perfect, but Resident Evil Survivor, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so that was PlayStation 1. Let me get this stuff out the way because I gotta talk PS2 next. Once again, same thing. We're gonna talk games that are just good, horror themed games and not exactly scary, but perfect for this time of year. So I think a great game to start this list with, a little off the wall, is Blood Rain 2 on PS2. You get to play, basically, you know, you want to play as Blade with boobs, got the game for you. This is, what's her name? I think her name is Rain. I never played this game. Look, when this game came out in 2004, you had GTA, San Andreas, Metroid Prime 4, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, and Halo 2. Sorry, I didn't have time to play this game, but I think I will play this game because, in fact, they have the remastered versions on all modern consoles and PC right now. But basically, you're a vampire, half human, whatever you want to call it, hybrid. You got these cool blades in your arm, and you go around killing Nazis and other evil vampires. I mean, I think it touches the basis for a Halloween game, if you ask me. So yeah, Blood Rain 2, perfect game. Next, real seamless with this one, Twisted Metal Black. Twisted Metal Black. This is probably, to me, outside of part 2. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, never mind. This is the greatest hit version. I thought I had a Black Label version, but nevertheless, Twisted Metal Black is probably the best Twisted Metal outside of part 2. The reason why I said this is a good Halloween game, this game is dark, like gritty, really like there's some messed up stories in this game, and also it's very difficult as well. The computer is relentless in this game. This is a get good game because I'm shocked I even beat this game back in the day. Because I tried to play it recently, a few years ago. The computer was beating my ass. I cut that shit off. I'm like, dude, this game is ridiculous. But the reason why I say it's a good Halloween game because, you know, if you haven't played a Twisted Metal game before or haven't watched the show, at least I think the show follows this. You win the tournament, you get any wish granted from the tournament organizer named Calypso. The thing is, he's a guy that's like the monkey's paw wish. You might get your wish, but be careful how you say it, because, yeah. In case in point, there's a character named Outlaw. Look up his stuff on YouTube. Look at his story. Tell me it ain't jacked up. It still holds. It's still one of the most messed up video game endings I've ever seen in my life. This one right here, perfect for Halloween. And of course, we can't talk horror games without talking Capcom, because you know Capcom's gonna have you covered, man. So we're gonna start off with Maximo. This was Maximo. What's this game called? Ghost to Glory. That's the subtitle. So this is basically the spiritual successor of the Ghosts and Goblin games. And unfortunately, I don't have a manual. But as cool as this game is, let's go to this. This game is hard as hell. It's so frustrating. It is literally 3D version of Ghosts and Goblins. So if you had a hard time playing that shit back on Super Nintendo, welcome to the 3D version of it. But once again, it covers all your bases for a Halloween game. Now this one, Maximo versus the Army of Zen, never played this one. So I really don't have any idea, you know, how it goes. But it should be more of the same. But I just found it cheap and, you know, wanted to just have it part of the collection, whatever. I probably didn't play it because, you know how hard the last one was? Why would I suffer through this one? Now, these next two might be just slightly controversial for Halloween, but hear me out. Just hear me out. So number one, Onimusha. The very first one. Only the first one. Because as you can clearly see, I'm not talking 2, 3, or Dawn of Dreams. The first one. You go back and play this game. Damn, another game I ain't got no damn manual. I gotta fix that. If you go back and play Onimusha 1, tell me they weren't trying to make a Resident Evil game and they just said, you know what? We'll just scrap it and turn it into some feudal Japan game you fight demons. Because if you look at the gameplay, it has the same static camera angles from the old school Resident Evil game still. Definitely a lot of monsters that fit the mode for the survival horror reign. Even though it's really not survival horror, it's just horror aesthetic. I don't think part 2 and part 3 kept that kind of creepy horror aesthetic as much, but this game definitely has it. There's some really sick monster designs in this game too. So yeah, me personally, I think this game will be perfect. Even though it's not your traditional Halloween game, I think this one will cover the bases for it though. But another Capcom game that definitely fits Halloween, the OG Devil May Cry. Now, once again, it's the original one. Now, this one I got the manual for. It's the original game. This game, we do know, is a fact that this was supposed to be the original Resident Evil 4, but they changed the gameplay so much, like, well, we can't really make this Resident Evil, but we might have something here. In fact, I always said, like, this game is what 3D Castlevania should have been, or I would have hoped for it to be, because I felt more like playing a Castlevania game playing this than I did with Castlevania 64. By the way, if you're interested in gameplay of Castlevania 64, I just streamed 3 parts of it and I actually completed it. So watch me fail and watch me struggle in the link below. And I can't mention Castlevania without bringing up Castlevania. So right here we have the very first one on PS2, Lament of Innocence, where you play as Leon Belmont. I actually like this game. I do like this one. It's not perfect. There's a lot of repeating hallways, and it's really funny because you play a 2D Castlevania game. The hallways kind of repeat, and you don't mind. When you do it in a 3D environment, it's kind of like, all right, every hallway looks the same. Where do I go? But this game has great music. Obviously, it's a Castlevania game, so you get all the weapons, all the traditional enemies, mummies, Medusa heads, vampire bats, Dracula, the whole 9 yards. I like this game a lot. Don't get me wrong. And this has, I'm not going to call it Metroidvania, but there's a lot of backtracking in this game. I do remember that. My memory serves me correct. There's some backtracking in this game. It's flawed, but good. But this one right here, Castlevania Curse of Darkness, this is the one you want to play. This is the game that stars as the Forge Master Hector. And if you watch the Castlevania anime, this is the guy right here that's in that anime. Ooh, look at that. Hold on, look at that. Got the limited edition soundtrack sampler. I must have pre-ordered this game. Because must be that much of a Castlevania fan, obviously. But yeah, I like this game because the familiar system that they had in Symphony of Night, where you can have like a little partner with you, they did that but expanded way more on it to where you can level them up and they actually evolve like Pokemon. So I always like games that have like a fake tag team partner to help you out, and this game is no exception. Yeah, Castlevania Curse of Darkness, this is a good one. So, you know, if you're a Castlevania fan, it's Halloween time, it goes peanut butter and jelly. You gotta have it. Then, of course, I mean, we're gonna have Halloween. We gotta talk Ghosts, right? I mean, come on. I got 2 Ghost games right here. First, we have Ghost Hunter, made by Namco. You know, this is like one of those games that I think Namco had high hopes for. No one ever talks about this game. I never hear anyone talk about it. No one ever said, hey, you played Ghost Hunter? I think I may know one person. But unfortunately, guess what? I have never played this game. I need to get around to doing that. But yeah, I think this game was cool. I don't even remember what the gimmick of this game was, but clearly it's a ghost game. You're hunting down ghosts. It's Halloween time. I mean, perfect. And I do know this though. This game is also available on the PS5 via the Classic Collection. I don't know if you need PlayStation Plus Premium or you can buy it because I don't really be playing my PS5 like that, but I do remember seeing it on there. But then you got Ghost Rider. So earlier I just showed you Devil May Cry, and well, this is basically Temu Devil May Cry, but it's a Dante you get to play as Ghost Rider, and it's not that bad of a game. I think you can beat it in like a day. This was definitely a game that you just rented from Hollywood Video and just played it for the weekend and called it a day. All right, 2 more games that cover that horror itch. This is a big one right here. This is Vampire Night on the PS2 with the Gun Con 2. Oh yeah. So this game, look at this. This game is kind of bittersweet because, granted, I have the gun. Let me see if I can get it open. Oh yeah. Got the gun right here. So now I can play all my light gun games on the PlayStation 2, such as Time Crisis, Ninja Assault. Hey, is there any other games on PS2 with light gun? I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting one or the other. I don't even think Silent Scope works, but nevertheless, this game allows you to do. Oh, I got another one. I'll tell you 1 second. But yeah, here's the problem though. If you ain't got an old school CRTV, you ain't using that light gun. That's kind of what I wanted to allude to. But this is a good arcade game. You shoot vampires, werewolves, the whole 9 yards. I mean, I know my main man Golly, this is the type of stuff he lives for, light gun games. And Vampire Night is definitely that perfect Halloween light gun game that you can get on the PS2. And I mean, hold on, man, look at this case. This manual right here. It looks pretty sweet. So yeah, man, Vampire Night, definitely one of the better light gun games you can get on PS2. And it's perfect for Halloween. But also have a hidden gem that also has a flaw with it. It's called Lifeline. Made by Konami. This game, you play, it's Christmas Eve. Imagine this. It's Christmas Eve 2029. And yeah, you're on some the grand opening of a Japanese space station hotel. I don't think we're going to have that in a few years. It's just me. I might be wrong, but I don't think we're going to have that. But the cool thing is you, the player, are playing in a control room. And there's this character, her name, a hotel employee named Riho. She's armed and she's beautiful. She'll do anything you tell her with your voice. That's the gimmick. You have to have, right here, you have to have a headset to play this game. This is why this game is dirt cheap. Because if you don't have a PlayStation 2 headset, you cannot play this game. And this is where, you know how sometimes people say that video games of today are trash. I'm not saying they are, but this is why people say stuff like this, because this is innovation. This is something new and unique that no one was trying to do. And of course, you know, it has its flaws because it's on the PS2. And the problem with that microphone voice recognition was not good. But of course, because PlayStation or the devs at Konami knew that someone's going to be immature, if you say bad words to her, she will call you out on it, which was always a nice touch. Now that you played those games and you're looking for a real scare, well, PlayStation 2's got you covered. And man, do I got some games. We're going to start off with absolute bangers. I got Fatal Frame 2 and 3. I don't have part 1, but I got part 2. Now, I will admit, part 2, I've had this game for a long time. And yeah, I didn't really like it when I first played it because the girls were so slow when they ran. It was just like annoying to me. But that's probably because I played this game and I like a certain style of survival horror. Now I'm a little bit much older and more open to different gameplay styles. I probably will give this game a second chance. And guess what? I don't need to give this version a second chance because they have a remake coming out. I hope it's good. I won't be able to judge it because I really didn't play this one too much. But I think it's a great game. It's obviously scared to me. That's probably another reason why I stopped playing it. It was so damn scared. Like, look, dude, I'm not playing this mess no more. Can't run away from the damn ghosts. These girls are slow. I'm straight. Then we got Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented right here. This is the last one that came on PS2. You can ignore that. Unless you guys have free McBoot. Yeah, but I played on actual real hardware. Don't emulate. That's all I'm saying. All right, so here's an actual game I do own a real copy of, and it's The Suffering, made by Midway. You know, man, the company that just, oh man, homegrown, my local game studio that I love. This is their attempt, this is their attempt at survival horror right here. And I think for the most part, they executed pretty well. This game takes place in a prison, so that was an interesting location for survival horror. We done mansions, you know, towns, Japanese villages, but a prison was an interesting setup. And yeah, this is I will admit, this game is pretty scary at times. I do remember some of the reviews not liking the fact that eventually you can get some like a power where you can actually turn into a monster, but I think that whoever reviewed the game didn't realize this is kind of like a psychological thing. Maybe he's not actually turned into a monster, just like his, you know, his thought process, what he thinks he's doing to take these monsters down. This game has multiple endings, so definitely has 3 different endings, in fact, based on your actions. So replayability. And I do remember there's an awesome documentary on this game about the Joliet State Prison. I actually lived around that way once, and so I found that fascinating. But yeah, The Suffering, it is a game that I wish would get re-released, remastered. Hey, Night Dive, if you're not too busy, I know you guys have done some work. This one right here will be definitely right up you guys' alley. Now, speaking of Night Dive, this is a game they actually have worked on, and it's a license. It is The Thing, made by Konami. So, and was it Universal Games as well? I'm pretty sure it's published by Konami. So this game right here, I'm so glad they did remaster this game, because I tried to play this game before a few times. You know, I've rented it or borrowed it, whatever, or just bought it used. And I always feel like this game has some good mechanics, but just it's the limitation of the PS2 or the OG Xbox is holding it back. But since the remake, well, not really a remake, the remaster came out, they actually adjusted the AI and made things simpler. So it's definitely the game that you should you thought you always should have had back in the day. But this game is really cool because it plays like the movie The Thing. So this, in a nutshell, in layman terms, this is old school Among Us. There's a thing that's taking over people's bodies and you don't know who is the thing. And therefore you have to like either bargain with your NPC players. You got to make sure you don't do weird things that's going to make them doubt you. And sometimes they'll end up going crazy. So you have to calm them down because they don't know who is the creature, who is the thing. And the thing will pop up literally anywhere and everywhere. It has a really good, unique system of gameplay. And yeah, this was doing some state-of-the-art stuff at the time. It just, the fact of the matter is, it was just held back. And if this game came on PS3 or 360, it'll be known as one of the best games ever made. But nevertheless, I do believe this game is perfect for Halloween. And like I said, they got a remaster on all modern consoles. Definitely check out The Thing. Up next, man, I got two games right here that even as a grown-ass man, I feel like, ooh, should I be playing this game? This is some sick stuff. And of course, we're talking Manhunt. Rockstar was in their bag with this one. This game right here is an experience. I would put it like that. You play as an ex-con or someone that was about to go on death row. And somehow, some way, you get to escape death row. You're about to get executed by a person who basically wants you to make snuff films for him. You go around the city in these weird environments, killing people in the most brutal, deadly, disgusting way possible. As the game like encourages you, because the beauty of the game is you'll grab an item and you'll right be behind your enemy, and they'll have like a bar that's gray. That's like this level 1 kill. It would turn yellow. That's level 2. But you just want to see what that level 3 kill is. And a lot of times it's worth the wait. And yeah, man, like you can literally bash people's brains against the wall with a bat, like plastic bags. I mean, cut people. It's nasty. It's violent, but it's not senseless. As crazy as it may sound, they're definitely telling a story in this game. And it is really dark. This is one of the few rated M games that really earn being rated M. This is an all-timer, and I do believe this game is on modern consoles as well. Don't buy the PC version, unfortunately, it does not work well. Then you got Manhunt 2, and I really like this game. A lot of people don't like Manhunt 2 as much as Part 1, because this one actually has a better story. It just might not be as executed as well, but the thing is, you need to play this game uncensored. The first game got so much flack that the cinematic kills were all censored. They were all like, blurred out, like as you were watching illegal cable back in the day. And that's no fun. Look, I paid for the game. Let me play it how I want to play it. So you get yourself an action replay or a code breaker, turn those filters off, and just go nuts. I think this game is also on PC without the filter. So I'm pretty sure it has its issues, but there's really no easy way of playing Manhunt 2. I do know this game is on the Wii as well. It's like a little bit cheaper. So if you need to play this game somehow, some way, there's options of doing it a little bit cheaper on the Wii. But the Wii version has its own issues where you basically do the stabbing motions with the Wiimote. So imagine a murder simulator on the family-friendly console, the Wii. It's amazing. And of course, I'd be remiss to talk PS2 without some Resident Evil, right? There were Resident Evil games on PS2. Well, we definitely have them. We have Resident Evil Code Veronica X. It's no secret if you know me, whatever, but I absolutely think Resident Evil Code Veronica is the worst of the traditional Resident Evil games from back in the day. I do not like these games as much. Steve Bernstein was horrible character, but this was the first next-gen Resident Evil at the time, launched on the Dreamcast first. Definitely had its issues, so they had to come out with this new version, the X version, and there's new cutscenes, and good old friend of the channel, Albert Wesker, is in this game, because you can't do a Resident Evil game without Wesker, right? But I must hate this game so much. I have the 15th anniversary. No, it's not the 15th. No, it's the 5th. The 5th anniversary case of Resident Evil. It also came with the demo of Devil May Cry, and for reasons unbeknownst to me, I have the European version Platinum Hits version of the game. I can't even play this game, at least not without my modded memory card, maybe. But yeah, look at this box art. Like, what were they thinking? I don't know. But as mid as Resident Evil Code Veronica is to me, at least Capcom tried something new, try something bold and daring with this one right here. Resident Evil Outbreak, the first ever online Resident Evil game. This game, now, the funny thing is, let me see, first of all, I had this copy for a while, I got the receipt right there, I don't need that. But the cool thing is with this game, this is how like the Resident Evil 2 era of this game franchise will never die for some reason. Because if you don't know, one of the characters in this game, I believe was one of the news reporter. She's gonna be in the new Resident Evil 9. You play as this character's daughter. So once again, Resident Evil 2 era will never die. And now even Resident Evil Outbreak is getting some love in modern Resident Evil games. So hear me out. Playing this game was quite difficult back in the day. There is no Discord. There is no Xbox Live. There is no PlayStation Network. There are no parties. How do you talk to people online? Oh, in Capcom's infinite wisdom, I think you press the analog stick in different directions and you hold a button to do, quotes like help, thank you, over here, and all that good jazz. That's not gonna work, man. Especially when life or death and you're panicking, there's some zombies biting your neck and you're screaming thank you when you're trying to say save me or help me, whatever. So this is how dated and old I am. Me and my friend Troop, we would get on this game after 7 o'clock because I believe the sprint minutes were free after 7. Because I'm not about to play this game with voice chat. I gotta talk to my phone. And mind you, we ain't got Bluetooth, so you gotta like hold the speakerphone on your shoulder. You gotta talk to your friend. It was just a mess, man. You guys have it so easy these days to play multiplayer games. But yeah, man, this was something innovative and really different. And people still play this game online to this day. You should definitely find out how to do it. And the one I never got a chance to play was File 2. They made a sequel to this game. It must have did something right. Because, yeah, they made a part 2 to this. I never played this one. And actually, this is not even my copy. One of my female friends gave me this one day because she had these games. She was just going to get rid of them. I said, hold on. Can I just have that? She's like, yeah, I'm never going to play this stuff. So, shout out to you. I love having these games in my collection because I'm like video game DCFS. And let's go with one more Resident Evil game. Now, this is the quote-unquote hidden gem. Or maybe I'm just a sucker for light gun games now. I don't know. Resident Evil Dead Aim. This game is freaking great. I know some people think this game is mid or it's trash or whatever. Nah, man. The reason why they think this game is trash is quite simple. First of all, you got not Ada in this game, because I'm pretty sure that's not Ada. I can't remember who this chick name was. And you got not Leon. So you got Timu version of Leon and Ada. I get that, whatever, right? And they're on a boat. But I think maybe the second time, because Resident Evil Gaiden was on a boat. Resident Evil Revelations on a damn ship. Like, they love them some ships. If you play this game with a controller, it sucks. But this is where this comes into play. You play this game with a gun con too. Yeah, this is a gun con too, I believe. Yeah. You got the D-pad right here so you can move your character around. And then when it was time to shoot zombies, you just pull it, you just start shooting. It's an experience, man. That was the way to play this game. I don't even think that's the right gun. I do have a gun con too right here someplace, but nevertheless, you gotta play the game with a gun. Otherwise, you will think this game sucks. And you need an old CRTV. So there's a lot of caveats for Resident Evil Dead Aim, but hey man, that's just the way it was back then. Oh yeah, and of course, we're almost done with this video. So you think I was going to end it off without talking about the game that pretty much solidified survival horror on the PS2? It's Silent Hill 2, man. I mean, what more needs to be said? They remade this game first before they remade the first one. Because that's how great and iconic Silent Hill 2 is. Now, I don't want to go on a long tangent about this game because we all know what this game is, what it means, so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure a lot of people recently have just played the remake, but the original is something special, man, because obviously, if you don't know the story, you play as a man who gets a letter from his dead wife to visit him in Silent Hill. Now, first thing you would say is, what moron would do that, right? But lo and behold, if you wouldn't have a moron, you wouldn't have a game to play. So this game had some of the best atmosphere in a Silent Hill game ever. One of the best stories ever. The graphics still hold up to this very day, which is amazing to me because I know they just made the remake, but there's something about this game that really stands true. I will say this about Silent Hill 2. I know this game is rated M for mature for blood and gore and violence, the whole 9 yards. When I played this game, I was probably 19. So while I was entertained, I was scared by it, whatever. A lot of probably things went over my mind, went over my head, because let's face it, I'm not mature enough to understand what they were doing and what they were trying to portray at the time. But playing it again years ago and just recently replaying it again on my PC, yeah, man, this game is so messed up. There's so many themes that they touch on. What I like about it over Silent Hill F, they don't beat you over the head with it. They treat you like an intellect. They treat you like an adult. Silent Hill F is like, hey, your parents were alcoholics. They were abusive. You get it? Versus this game, they don't upright and say it, but like, oh, this is sexual assault. Or, oh, this guy was bullied and has fallen into a state of depression. Or, oh, this guy is dealing with some extreme levels of guilt. I love it. They treat the game, they treat the player very maturely, and that's why it holds up. They don't hold your hand. They're not spoon feeding you the point they're trying to make in this game. You have to read between the lines, you know, and there's been a gazillion video essays about this game, and there will continue to be a bunch of essays because this is what this game is, man. But as much as I love Silent Hill 2, my personal favorite Silent Hill game is Silent Hill 3. I absolutely love this game. The graphics, for one, still hold up to this day. The story is great because I was invested in the story of Silent Hill 1, and this is a direct sequel. So if you invested in part 1, you definitely get to enjoy part 3. Now look at that. I got the soundtrack, got the game right there. This game has never been properly ported over to modern consoles. Yes, they have the HD remaster, whatever, that collection. No, it sucks. You don't want to play that. You want to play this version the best way you can. It needs to be. This is one of the few games that actually need to be played on original hardware because, yeah, there's a vibe from playing these old school Silent Hill games on a PS2. One thing is, like, once again, not to really rag on Silent Hill F, but sometimes modern technology is an inconvenience or takes away from the game. When you go into a room in most old school Silent Hill games, the game has to load, right? So you see a bunch of a black screen, maybe some type of, you know, footprint just to represent loading time, whatever, and you're sitting there for seconds. It feels like an eternity. You're just tense because you don't know what's behind this door. Versus these new games, you just open up and, all right, well, there's a monster here. Okay. I don't know. It's just a different vibe, man. And this game definitely has it. One of the scariest parts in this game, if all to me in gaming, is when you go to a haunted house. They put your ass in a haunted house in a survival horror game. That's messed up. And yeah, it is perfect. Perfect scene. There's some really disgusting visuals in this game too. All another very mature game when it comes to storytelling and what they're trying to portray without beating you over the head with it like Silent Hill F. But that's that. Then we have Silent Hill 4, The Room. This game, I have a love-hate relationship with this game. This is where I love it because they definitely try something new. The game starts you off, they call it The Room because you wake up in your apartment building. This is the first time you get to do first-person perspective. There's no combat involved, but it's kind of like prehistoric PT, if you will. but you're locked inside your apartment building and you can't get out. So you're trying to find ways to explain why you're stuck in here. And then, of course, in Silent Hill fashion, you find a hole in your bathroom. And then, of course, the game starts from there. What I don't like about this game, I guess I haven't touched on it, but what I love about survival horror games is the fact you just mash X on every nook and cranny of the game. You'll get like a brief description, a dusty bookshelf, a dirty bed. There's a lot of useless material here, stuff like that, just details. I love that stuff. I adore that stuff. Well, in this game, as much as you want to mash X and look at the things, get the detailed descriptions, they have these invincible ghosts that will literally haunt you throughout the game. They don't die. They're a waste of ammo because they don't die. And they're annoying. It's like they're scary, but then it boils down to just like, oh my God, I'm just trying to play the game. Leave me the hell alone. But yes, there's ways of like defeating them, but there's like limited inventory for it. So it's like one of those things like, oh, this game needs a remake because there's stuff in here that makes it really, really good. And there's some really, really creepy scenes in this game. But there's some gameplay loops that's like, why? And of course, there's one more Silent Hill game, and that is Silent Hill Origins I own. Now, I love this version of the game because this kind of took it back to, you know, a traditional Silent Hill game. This is a prequel to Silent Hill 1. Obviously, it's called Origins, right? I really enjoyed this game, and what I did enjoy about this game the most is the fact that this game was originally a PSP exclusive. And I tell you right now, I ain't buying no fucking PlayStation Portable. I was not that guy. I'm not about to spend $200 some odd for one damn game. So Konami was smart enough to realize that no one's gonna buy that version on PSP like that because they're too busy listening to MP3s and playing Super Nintendo games on PSP. They decided to port it to PS2, and I commend you for that. So thank you, Konami, for letting me play this wonderful prequel to the game. I actually enjoyed it. Pretty scary at times. I only played it once though, so it was okay to like it, but maybe I should give it a replay. But no time soon because I got enough scary stuff to play. And of course, the last game that I got in my PS2 collection, which is the hidden gem, and it's made by Capcom somehow, some way. Capcom, you did it again. It is Clock Tower 3 on the PS2. Now, you would say Clock Tower 3, you don't have part 1 and part 2? No, I don't. I never really felt like playing those games. I don't know why they just did not fall on my radar, but I actually did play Clock Tower a few years back on on my PC, whatever, and it was really good. And part 2, not so much, but part 3, the beauty of this game, it has nothing to do with 1 and 2. I don't even know why they call this Clock Tower. Probably because they just bought the rights to the damn name, and the hell with it, we're going to use it. But what I do enjoy about this game, this is right around, this game came out in 2003. And I remember playing Resident Evil 6 recently. And I'm just going back in my archives. So I'm playing Resident Evil 6, like, this game is cool, but it sucks at the same time. Leon's campaign, great, this is what I want. What I don't want is a bunch of arrows pointing me to go in which way. It's like, this game is so casual. Like, what have you done to Resident Evil, right? But whatever. So I go back and play this game on a whim one day. And I'm like, how am I more scared in a PS2 game than a next generation Resident Evil game? Because the beauty of playing an old game as you're playing all these new games, you think, oh, this is PS2, right? These monsters, this AI ain't that smart. Case in point, like one of the very first monsters, this big giant dude with a hammer. And of course, you run away from him and you go to the next room. I thought to myself, well, because I never played a Clock Tower game, mind you, at the point, I thought I was done with it. That dude, bars didn't open that door. I was shook. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? This is a PS2 game. Yeah, so this game is a little weird. There's definitely some questionable dialogue at times. There's a male NPC that's like, whoa, I don't think they'll be able to do that in 2025. But I definitely think this is worth playing. This is a really good game. I really like Clock Tower 3. I actually went out my way to beat it, and they do have a nod to the Scissor Man. So shout out to Clock Tower 1, because yeah, that game is also really good. So no, that's it. That's all my PS2 and PS1 games. I might still buy some more as the years go by, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of horror games or scary games that I can definitely add to my collection. You know, these games may be old, but the atmosphere, the vibe, the sounds, it's still scary as hell to this very day, man. So, which of these games, do you own any of these games? Or any of these games you ever played before? What's your favorite scary PS1, PS2 game? Let me know in the comments. I didn't realize making long form YouTube content is kind of difficult. Like, this is like the first time I ever did it outside of my live streams or just commenting on a Twitter post, whatever. So if you like this type of content, let me know. I need the encouragement, because at this rate, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do any more consoles this year, this Halloween, but give me the encouragement. I may get it done a little bit sooner, and I have tons of games. You see all these games back here, right? I got tons of games, tons of consoles. I got this is right here, tip of the iceberg when it comes to survival horror. So thanks for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed it, hopefully. And we will see you next time on Next Gen Nostalgia.